This is Joe Biden, the President of the United States. On Martin Luther King Day, Biden attended an event held by the National Action Network, which, as you may know, is run by one of the biggest race grifters of our time, the Reverend Al Sharpton. This video isn't about him, I just wanted to point that fact out.
It's an honor to spend King Holiday with the National Action Network and with the King family, Martin and family. And understand, there's Martin III, we celebrate a legacy of your beloved father and mother. But congratulations today, the honorees, including your wife, who I understand is a birthday today?
So this is Martin Luther King III and his wife Andrea. But you may have noticed that Joe Biden didn't say Andrea's name. He only referred to her as Martin's wife. In other words, Biden doesn't know her name.
Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready?
Biden is asking the crowd if they're ready, when he should have been asking himself that question.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valen. Happy birthday to you.
This is classic Joe Biden. He insisted on singing happy birthday to a woman whose name he either forgot or never knew in the first place.
You know, an awful lot of people who are, I can't sing worth a damn, but the people, entertainers and singers, can sing like a nightingale, but can't talk, can't speak.
I have no idea what that means, but what I do know is that Joe Biden can't sing or talk.
And reimagine the team around the big three, Steph, Draymond, and Kyle. Well, you guys are so incredible. Happy birthday, dear Valen.
Anyway, Biden took the opportunity at the National Action Network to make false promises about assault weapons legislation.
I am going to get assault weapons banned. I did it once, I'm going to do it again. There's no social redeeming value.
I think it's safe to say that an assault weapons ban passing during a split Congress will not happen. Nor will it happen during Joe Biden's lifetime. That's just a reality.
And ban the number of bullets that go in a magazine.
What?
And ban the number of bullets that go in a magazine.
Let me get this straight. Joe Biden wants to ban the number of bullets that go in a magazine. Does he want to ban bullets? None of this makes sense. But then again, Joe Biden never makes sense when talking about guns.
Do you realize the bullet out of an AR-15 travels 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot out of any other gun? What purpose is to have a gun that a bullet can travel 5 times the speed of an ordinary bullet?
That's right. The AR-15 is a magic gun, and when you shoot it, bullets travel faster than any other gun on the planet.
A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body.
That's 100% a lie.
I know that it makes no sense to be able to purchase something that can fire up to 300 rounds.
What we're going to do on us with assault weapons and be able to have 300 rounds in a magazine
300 round magazines don't exist, but who cares about reality?
My legislation says there can be no more than 8 bullets in a round, okay?
So I guess Biden is advocating for 8 round bursts? Makes sense to me. What's your problem?
We also have to fundamentally change the way in which police are trained. And the idea that instead of standing there and teaching a cop who's an unarmed person coming at him with a knife or something to shoot him in the leg instead of in the heart is a very different thing.
An unarmed person with a knife. I'm not sure how that works. To be honest though, I'm surprised that Biden didn't say that you should just shoot the knife out of their hand.
So instead of anybody coming at you and the first thing you do is shoot to kill, you shoot them in the leg. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about.
So even though he was widely criticized for claiming that you can just shoot a suspect in the leg, he still insists on spewing this bullshit.
We have to retrain cops as to why should you always shoot with deadly force. The fact is, if you need to use your weapon, you don't have to do that. And look, when I was coming up as a kid, cops were required to learn to shoot to kill. Well, you ought to be able to shoot to stop. Everything shouldn't be an extreme. So the way we train police officers is changing.
No, it's not stupid. When it comes to firearms, there is no such thing as shoot to stop training. If a police officer needs to discharge their weapon, it's because they've exhausted all other reasonable means before resorting to using their firearm. To be clear, there's no law enforcement agency in the country that will ever train their officers to aim for the leg. And speaking of firearms, Biden claims that Republicans don't want to pass his gun legislation because of the powerful gun lobby.
Think about the rationale for this. It's about money. Money, money, money.
No, it's not about the money. It's about your God-given right to bear arms, which is protected by the Second Amendment of the Constitution. But, Joe Biden doesn't give a shit about the Constitution, let alone God.
I love my right-wing friends who talk about the tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots. If you need to work about taking on the federal government, you need some F-15s. You don't need an AR-15. I'm serious, think about it.
Yes, let's think about it for a moment. On one hand, Biden is suggesting that if you want to fight the federal government, guns aren't going to be enough. You need fighter jets. But on the other hand, Biden and the Democrats claim that a bunch of unarmed protesters and rioters nearly brought down our democracy on January 6th. You cannot have it both ways. Anyway, let's shift gears to the economy, a thing that Joe Biden knows even less about than guns.
There's 745 or 50 billionaires in America. Average tax rate they pay is 2%.
But according to a report by Biden's own White House, billionaires pay an average federal individual income tax rate of 8.2%.
I think you should be able to be a billionaire, but I think you should pay a little more than 2%. I'm not trying to be alarming about it, but it's a reality.
So Biden is lying about billionaires in an attempt to demonize them and get Democrats riled up with the false talking point that the rich don't pay their fair share, which is why we need 87,000 new IRS agents. Of course, in practice, having those additional agents will make it easier for the IRS to go after the middle class. But whatever, it's only money.
I got so sick and tired of us exporting jobs and importing product. We're now importing jobs and exporting product.
We're importing jobs. What the hell does that even mean? Oh, my brain hurts.
2 years ago this week, 18 million people were out of work. 2 years ago this week. Now the net number is under 1.6 million.
And since the fact checkers are still on vacation, I guess it's up to me to debunk this nonsense.
2 years ago this week, 18 million people were out of work.
Wrong. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in January 2021, there were 10.1 million persons unemployed, not 18 million.
Now the net number is under 1.6 million.
Wrong. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the latest unemployment numbers show that 5.7 million Americans are out of work, not 1.6 million. So what's happening here? Why is there such a large discrepancy? Well, I think I have the answer. This tweet from December 2021 says, "When I took office, over 18 million were receiving unemployment benefits. Today, only 2 million are." So it looks like Biden was supposed to say, 2 years ago this week, 18 million people were collecting unemployment. Now that number is under 1.6 million. But he didn't, because Joe Biden is an imbecile. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, Andrew, if there were 18 million people collecting unemployment, doesn't that mean that they're unemployed? Well, not exactly, because technically not all of them were unemployed. For example, many Americans were eligible for benefits if they were working part-time. And when it comes to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, to be considered officially unemployed, someone must have searched for a job within the past month. And with COVID stimulus checks and state and federal unemployment benefits, many Americans were essentially being paid not to work. But with that said, Biden said to an audience of 200 mayors from around the country, mistakenly or not, that only 1.6 million Americans are currently out of work.
Now the net number is under 1.6 million, near the lowest level in decades.
And of course, the audience of mostly Democrat mayors all clapped like a bunch of sheep. I know you're shocked. And with that, that's it for now. Follow me on Twitter at Don'tWalkRun. Be sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And as always, I hope to see you next time. If there is a next time.